Should old video games be forgot and never brought to mind? Heck no. Raise a glass of kindness to the games of 2021. Welcome to Triple Click, where we bring the games to you. This week we talk about some cool video games that came out this past year. Our list isn't just Metroid Dread over and over, but maybe it should be? I'm Maddie Myers.
I'm Jason Schreier.
And I'm Kirk Hamilton, and hello.
Hello.
It's us. We're back.
Hey.
We're back after our long break, sleeping in our little hibernation caves.
We are back for our final episode of 2021.
Whenever you say final episode like that, it sounds like you're just going to stop after final episode.
Well, it's our final episode, sort of like Final Fantasy, where we'll just keep making them infinitely and then remaking our old episodes.
Right, it's that kind of final with the asterisk. After
Triple Click remake.
Exactly.
It's going to change everything. New ending. Everything's different. So if you feel intense fear in your heart when you hear Jason say the words final episode because you just can't get enough Triple Click, I have a solution for you, which is that you could go to MaximumFun.org/join and you could become a member. And then you would get a bonus episode of Triple Click every single month in a bonus feed.
Including this one, and it might even come out before 2022, so maybe this isn't even the final episode, if you count bonus episods anyways.
I would count that.
What do you
it's
mean
like a
this
secret
one?
special
You mean
bonus.
this next one?
Yeah,
The
this
next one.
upcoming one. It might come out before New Year's.
Got it. Oh, that's exciting.
That's exciting. And
It
this
might not.
upcoming one is...
No promises.
It's all up to Kirk's schedule.
And this upcoming episode that will come out at some point, who knows when, will be episode of several more things from each
Yes.
of us. We're
Several more
gonna
things.
talk about pieces of media that aren't video games that we liked in 2021. And this episode, we're just going to talk about video games, but we're not there yet. MaximumFun.org/join.
Yeah.
Go check that website out. Become a member. Anyway, well, we just weren't quite there yet. I just wanted to say the URL again because
Inches
that
away.
feels helpful to people. Kind of like
Yep.
how sometimes we forget to say the video game title when we've been talking about it for like 10 minutes and then we
Yes.
just move on.
A common
You don't want to
complaint.
do that. And we're not going to do that this week either. We're just going to say video game titles
we
constantly.
have a lot of titles to find.
know.
It's true, we do.
I know. We really, really do. Because this is the episode where we're going to talk about our games of the year
Hey.
for
Woo!
2021.
Games of the year. It's
Games that
exciting.
came out this year that we thought were cool.
Yes.
That's what this is.
So we each prepared a list. I thought it was 10 games. You guys both apparently put down 12 games here.
Here's what happened. Kirk had a list of 12 games, and Kirk was the first person to get to the Google document today, and he put in 12 video games. And I looked at his list, which was not numbered, and I thought to myself, that looks a little long. Just looks a little bit longer than my list. Am I imagining things? And I counted it, and it was just a little bit longer than my list by exactly 2 games. And then I added 2 games to my list because I thought it was only fair, but apparently Jason didn't do that.
Okay, well, I
because-
didn't get the memo, so my list is only 10. But let's get on with it. I think people want to hear our lists.
Yeah, in no particular order, right? Kirk,
Yeah.
why don't you go first?
My games are in order of game title name, which is how I always list them on Twitter because I think that it's aesthetically pleasing because it makes a little ramp or like one side of an obelisk.
So like how many characters? They're not in order of alphabetical order, which is what I assumed
Correct.
you meant at first.
No, in the actual length of the name. So then when you list them, it creates a sort of a ski slope going down. And it also rewards brevity because you get to be first if you have the shortest name. And more video games should have short names, I feel. So up first we have Returnal, Housemarque's PS5 exclusive game.
Good video game.
It was a good video game. It resulted in me getting a fun nickname on the Triple Click Discord, KIRK'S 7 Deaths Hamilton, which became a little bit of a joke because I only died 7 times before beating Act 3. And I gather that's still kind of strange, and so I think that sort of reflects my my distinct relationship to this game that I did think was hard and I found really maddening and exciting and engrossing and really just played super hard for 2 weeks and haven't really gone back to. I know they added save states to it, which I think will make a lot of people happy if they play it now. because I know that was a very common complaint, and it was one I shared, even though I played the game in such a focused way that wasn't a really big deal to me anyways. But I did lose save progress because the game updated. Like, I had all that stuff happen. It was just sort of an event when Returnal came out, because in some ways because of its weird idiosyncrasies and those things that made it so not player friendly, and that also just sort of sticks out to me. It was an interesting experience when it came out. But yeah, no, I just really liked this game.
It was also like the first real PS5 exclusive of the year, and that got a lot of attention.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm kind of sad I didn't beat it, but it was really hard in a way that I am not good at. I died more than 7 times.
Yeah, I didn't beat it either.
Yeah,
but very fun game. Good choice.
Oh yeah, really cool.
Yeah, good game.
Design.
Great sound design, great acting, great art. Really just a really cool game. I hope more people will play it. I could see this one coming to PC. I saw people saying, I hope they release this on PC. I feel like PC folks would enjoy that one too. Okay, so that's the first one, Returnal. Up second, we have Hitman 3, another game from early in the year. Of course, this was going to be on my list.
I almost put this on there. I thought about you. This is a cool video game, and I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah. Yeah,
it's a cool one. It was fun to talk to both of you about it. It was fun that this was the one that you both really played, just because I think it's the best of the 3. And it also, of course, includes the entirety of Hitman's 1 and 2, or at least these new Hitman's 1 and 2. So it's got that entire trilogy and all the DLC. Hitman. I believe it's Hitman's. Hitsman. There we go.
Hitsman.
At some point, we're gonna run that one into the ground. Maybe we're already there. Hitsman 1 and 2 and 3, and then all the DLC. There's so much here. I didn't take the time with this that I really wanted to. I started replaying the whole trilogy, which is fun to do. But I still spent a lot of time with this, doing some of the escalations. And if I were going to pick just one game to play from my list, I think it would probably be this one, just because it's so endlessly replayable and entertaining. And yeah, I love Hitman. I'm very interested in what IO does next. They're working on, I believe, a James Bond game.
Yeah.
Seems like a natural fit for them, especially given how Bondy Hitman has become. And also, I just watched, speaking of Bond, I just watched No Time to Die. Great movie, by the way. Really liked it. Haven't loved all the Daniel Craig James Bond movies, but I like this one. And it's super funny because the MacGuffin, like the supervillain's weapon in that film, is the exact same weapon as a weapon that appeared in Hitman 2 in the Sapienza level. It's the same concept. And it can't be that neither of those, I don't think, was the first time that this ever came up, but watching it, I was like, man, this is just fully Hitman 2. So I thought that was funny and just thought I'd mention it. Yeah, I don't know. Any more thoughts on Hitman 3 from the two of you?
No, cool game.
Yeah, I really enjoyed how much of a sandbox it is. If people want to go back and listen, I really didn't know how to play Hitman 3 when I was playing it, and I had to just figure it out as I went because I just didn't understand how to read the directions or tutorial in the game. I think I accidentally skipped the tutorial or something, and then I was truly thrown in the deep end and kind of stumbled my way through the first encounter, which meant it took me way longer, but was also significantly more satisfying as a result, because I truly felt as though I was in that situation, having to figure out how to disguise myself, who to talk to, what to do. And that, I don't know, I don't play that many simulation style games. I know it's one of your favorite kinds of games, Kirk, and it was really cool to immerse myself in that and be like, oh, this is a genre I'm not super familiar with, but I now understand why people get so into it and why it can be so hilarious, because just goofy shit will happen. And I don't even just mean the dialogue, there's very clever dialogue in there, but yeah, just goofy stuff happens by accident, which is delightful in that game. So it almost made the cut for me.
When I started a new game I played through, there's this sort of tutorial level, a series really of tutorial levels then I was playing through and I was imagining you. I was like, this really onboards you, these 2 levels at the beginning on this kind of staged boat and at this military base. And if you don't have those, I do think that was probably a very interesting way to start the game. Anyway, it's good. Next is Deathloop, a game that I really loved and that I know Jason, you also have on your list. I'll just say that the reason I love this game so much is inextricably tied to the fact that I played it with all of the waypoints turned off. And I've talked to so many people about this at this point, and I'm convinced that I think there was some sort of an error in the way that they presented the waypoints. It could have been like you turn them on optionally. It gives you a more clear prompt at the beginning. There's just something there because so many people who played with waypoints on had a very different experience than me, and I can really see that. Where with waypoints off, it was just such a satisfying, cool game, and it was just a great balance of like problem solving and figuring stuff out versus being told where to go by my journal and just sort of working it out. Instead of just if I'd had a waypoint everywhere I needed to go, it really just wouldn't have had that emergent quality that I was looking for when I went in playing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I accidentally, so Deathloop is also on my list. We'll get to that. But I accidentally played with waypoints on, but won't hold that against the game. But yes, it's a very different, much less satisfying experience, especially the end part. Because the end part, the whole idea is that you're supposed to figure out how to create this perfect loop. And the end part, if you have waypoints on, it just guides you through and just holds your hand the entire time. And it just really, really does not sink in quite as much, but I still enjoyed the game so much that it made my list regardless.
Yeah, there's two more thoughts on that. Well, yeah, one related to that is that I don't think I've actually talked about this on the show. There's a great example of that where you have to go and like find these power stations in each of the major areas. And if you're playing with waypoints off, you see pictures of all of them, and you have to kind of screen grab the thing you're looking at and like go find them in the map based on these photos that are laid out, and the whole thing is really laid out for you. But if you have waypoints turned on, you just go into the levels and they just tell you where they are. Yep. That's like a really clear example of just how different it is. And then the other thing is just that I've been going back to it a bit. They've been updating it, and I've been trying to get achievements in this game, which is really, really fun. The achievements are great. They're really hard, but they're very enjoyable. And they've updated it. It runs better on PC. The enemy AI is smarter now, which is nice. So there have been some good updates. All right. Next is Inscryption. Of course, this was going to be on here. I really loved this game. It's a really, really cool game. I keep finding like there are several sections in this game, and each time you have to kind of get your bearings and figure out what's going on, and you play a new variation of this card game that you're playing. And I've found that each time that happens, I'm sort of disappointed because I had been getting into the card game the time before. And then I learn the new version of the card game, and then I get into that. And I think I just enjoy this card game. I think it's a pretty fun, well-designed card game, and I think that it takes a certain kind of ambition to design a game like that and then build a game around it that tears it apart in so many ways and like goes outside of it and breaks the fourth wall and messes with the rules and screws with the balance. And it's never just like, here's this pure game, even though I gather that the developer modded it. So now you can just play that first mode as like an endless roguelite. But yeah, I think this game is so clever and so good.
Yeah, I put it on my list too. This is one of the games I played over our little break because I wanted to make myself play it, even though I'm really not a card game person.
Yeah.
And it's not that I found it difficult. It's more just that this kind of game isn't my thing. So I had to really get myself into the zone of, okay, Maddie, you're going to learn a bunch of mechanics. There's a whole lot of different kinds of cards, and you're going to store them in your head. And you're going to watch some YouTube tutorials with some tips about like min-maxing different boons, because there's sort of like a boon system. I know it's not called boons. I'm using the Hades term, but it's like you get different ways to level up your powers overall, and then that benefits you. And I really liked all the other parts of the game besides the fact that it's a card game. I liked the music. I liked the visuals. I liked the fact that it keeps changing and zooming out in its worlds. And I just thought it was really cool. I think it does a lot of stuff that I want other games to do.
Yeah.
And that is more often than not why I end up picking something as one of my games of the year, is just, I like this idea. Even if I didn't love every piece of this execution, I just want this to exist. And I really dig that it exists. And that's definitely how I feel about Inscryption. It's a cool thing, and I'm glad it exists.
Kirk, when you said before that like every time it changed it up, it threw you off and was disconcerting for you, it totally lost me at Act 2. I was like, I don't want to play this anymore. After really enjoying my time with Act 1, I just stopped at Act 2. It's a hard game to really... it's a game that doesn't want you to enjoy it when it does that.
Well,
sort of thing.
so Act 2 is kind of what I'm talking about. Is like that's where I thought that it had lost me. I really lost a lot of momentum there. But then actually once I got my head around how to build a deck in Act 2, it got fun. And then I was into it again. And then Act 3 changes things again. And I was like,
part
oh,
of what's
God,
fun
like,
about Act 1 is that you don't have to think about building a deck. That's part of what's enjoyable about it, is that you don't have to like spend time in a menu, like
I guess
moving cards around.
you don't really in Act 2 either. Like I built one deck that beat every single fight for me. Like,
yeah, there's still ways to cheese your way through every battle.
Sure.
Take it from me, someone who doesn't really like card games that much and cheesed her way through a lot of Inscryption because I just kind of wanted to see more of the story. And
Fair.
cheesing is fine. I think it's fine. If you want to see the rest of the story, it's okay.
You can just be in it to see the grander design, which is very neat. So yeah, that's a cool game. Next game is also a cool game that I'm glad exists and want to see more games like, and that's Wildermyth.
Yeah, same.
Which is another one that I haven't finished. Do you finish Wildermyth? I've played more of it.
You can.
Yeah.
Wildermyth is interesting. There's like a bunch of different campaigns within it that you can
Sure.
play, and they all use the same structure. Like you'll notice different dialogue choices that are extremely similar, or like setups that are similar across each of the campaigns, and they each have an ending, but it's so procedurally generated that I mean, I'm already describing it poorly. It's basically like a procedurally generated text adventure, I guess.
Yeah, it's like a book where the chapters are... because it's not... When I say it's procedurally generated or when I describe it that way, I always worry that people are going to think that it's like Mad Libs, like it's like a machine AI trying to generate dialogue, which isn't how the game feels at all. Because in the moment playing it, it's like a really well-written, lovely game full of these really human moments that were written by people, but then it's also arranged in a way that is in some way like procedural. So it's a really interesting mix. I just think I would imagine that a lot of narrative designers at bigger companies and bigger publishers are playing that game and looking at what they're doing. And I would also imagine that a lot of people have just been having these kinds of conversations like, how would a game like this work? You know, this is Ken Levine's narrative Legos. This is the idea of like, can we build a modular narrative that works? And I think that Wildermyth does work. I think it's really cool. I definitely plan to keep playing it. It'd be a great game to play on Steam Link, like on a handheld. I have it on my laptop, and I do like playing it that way. But it's it's a really lovely game, and another one where I'm just it's kind of shocking almost to play a game that's messing with some of the ideas that this one's messing with.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, well, next one is not a revolutionary game, but it's a good one, and that's Death's Door. This was just a game that I really liked, like a sort of Zelda, somewhat Souls-inspired. Is it Souls-inspired? It's more of like a Metroid Zelda sort of a thing.
There's a lot of headlines saying it's Souls-inspired.
Yeah.
But is that true?
Well, Death's Door sounds like a zone in a Souls game, so yeah. Mm-hmm. Like you walk into this cavern and it's like Death's Door.
Yeah. It's kind of got the like, you're opening doors, there's a hub world. Structurally, it has something in common, I suppose, with Souls, but it's not, I mean, it's hard, but it's not that. It's not really that hard. Like, it has some challenging fights, but and you don't lose progress when you die. I don't know. I don't know if I would say this is a Souls-like. It's more like a Zelda-like, in the way that as we've discussed, Zelda and Metroid actually share a lot of game design DNA. Like it has that Metroid feeling where you get the grappling hook and now you can go here and go there. I just think it's really cool. I think it's a cool looking game. It's really striking how aesthetically interesting it is, given that it was really primarily or entirely made by a 2-person team. I like the music. I like the way it moves. I like the way it looks. It's this funny little diorama, kind of like stuffed animal.
I like the way you move, Kirk.
Thanks. Anyways, what was I saying? Outcast. They were a good group. Death's Door. It's a good game. So the next game I liked is Metroid Dread. I'll just save this one, Maddie. You're going to talk about it too, so we can just talk about it then. I mean, you deserve to really take point on Metroid Dread, but I loved Metroid Dread.
Oh yeah, it's not on my list. I don't know.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot you were so disappointed
I hated
by
it. Just kidding.
Yeah, no, loved it. Obviously, we did a whole episode about it, and I think it was really good. Next up, Psychonauts 2, a game that was so much better than I was even expecting, and I was hoping it would be good, but my God, it's good. I'm still working through it, but I'm quite a bit farther along, and I just think it's so great. It really a sequel to the first game in so many ways, and that feels really unusual, especially for a beloved, very old game that was always kind of niche, you know, just in terms of gameplay and story and kind of everything. And it was cool to see it get nominated for so many awards. I think did it get shut out at the Game Awards? Am I right about that?
Yeah, I don't think it actually won anything.
It got nominated, a bunch of times.
That's pretty weak because it should have won a lot of things.
I imagine it'll win some like prestigious awards, like GDC awards. So.
Yeah, it deserves to. And I'm very excited, as I'm sure both of you are, to watch the documentary about the making of this game. Whenever that comes
I have
out.
to follow up with them. I was supposed to I think they had told me they were thinking about December, and I guess it's too late now. So hopefully soon.
It's true. They were probably thinking about December.
Yeah,
now they're thinking
we
about
all were in
January.
a way.
All right, I have a couple more. One is Monster Hunter Rise, a game that I did not get to talk about enough on this show. I kind of want to do a podcast just with Griffin McElroy where the two of us just talk about Monster Hunter Rise for like 4 hours. Because I get the sense that he, on the besties, also has no one to really... I know that's not true. Russ Brushstick also played it. Anyways, I really want people to talk to about this game, and I do talk to some friends about it. Russ and I talk about it a lot. But it's the kind of game that... It's only good if you're really into it and if you're into like, the minutia of the different weapon types and the builds and stuff. But I think it's awesome. I've played probably more of this game than almost anything else this year. And I just think it's incredibly good. It's cool that it's coming to PC and people can play it. It's the most fun I've ever had, just the gameplay, like the zip bug or whatever it's called, the wire bug system lets you like fly around. It's so cool. There's DLC coming for it, which I'm really excited about. So yeah, Monster Hunter Rise, loved it.
Every Monster Hunter game comes out and I'm like, maybe this will be the one that gets me into Monster Hunter, and it never is.
It's a commitment.
Series
but
is impenetrable for me.
Yeah, I can see that. It was for me for a while until World, but it really, it's so good. It's so fun. I love it. So one more, I have 3 more. So Halo Infinite and Echoes of the Eye, Outer Wilds are both on my list. But since we're kind of keeping it to 10, and I know that you have each picked one of those, then I'm leaving those. So the last one is Subnautica Below Zero, which is sort of a stand-in for like all the games from previous years that I played. Because really, when I put Subnautica Below Zero on here, my real pick would be Subnautica, the original one, which came out several years ago, and I played all the way through and like loved. That was probably my favorite like experience playing a game all year. It's an incredible game, and Below Zero is really cool. It's like an expand alone. It's a little too story heavy. Like I don't like it as much as Subnautica, but that's not at all a complaint because Subnautica is so fantastic. But I do really like Below Zero as well. And then, there are so many games from this year that I played because I got a PS5, like Demon's Souls Remake. That's like one of the most awesome games I played all year. But I couldn't put it on my list last year, and I can't put it, I guess, on my list this year. But anyways, that and, other games. Ghost of Tsushima is another one. So there's kind of all of these other games. But since we're moving along, I'll just say...
Of course, Kirk Hamilton finds a way to mention like 20 different games.
Yeah. I gotta do it just because it wouldn't be fair if I never mentioned Demon's Souls Remake or Subnautica, like the best game I played all year. Anyways, Subnautica Below Zero, also awesome. But anyone curious about Subnautica, go play that game. It's so good. All right, and that's me.
All right.
Cool.
Well,
good list. Wait, do you wanna just read your list? Just sum it up, like read them all.
So it's Returnal, Hitman 3, Deathloop, Halo Infinite, Inscryption, Wildermyth, Death's Door, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Monster Hunter Rise, Subnautica Below Zero, and Outer Wilds, Echoes of the Eye.
Okay, Maddie, you're up.
Okay, so my first one is Metroid Dread, and that's the only ranking that matters. Everything else is unranked in this list, but Metroid Dread is number 1 because it was my favorite video game of the year. And
it was good.
I can't believe that they made a good Metroid game. I just didn't think it would happen for me. I had lost all hope. The franchise was in a really weird spot after Other M, and Metroid Prime 4 will maybe never happen. I don't know what's going on with that game.
Kind of feel like maybe it'll never happen.
Samus Returns was a cool game for the 3DS that I think only 6 people played, and one of them was me, and one was Steven Totillo. I don't know. Not that many people played it, is what I'm saying. So
yeah,
okay, fair enough. One of them was Jason, but I just had no hopes for Metroid. Really, I never have hopes, and I can't believe how amazing it is, and how they've like fused all these different characterizations of Samus Aran into a character who feels like both a person and also a total badass, and that really owns, and they had to do it all with body language and very, very few lines of dialogue. It's a pretty minimalist story. And then also it just owns to collect stuff and run around. underwater and underground and like get little power-ups, and then also memorize boss attack patterns and do shine spark puzzles. And I could play this game for the rest of my life and be happy, probably. I love it. That is what I have to say about this.
Yeah, I want
really
to play it
good to play.
again. I'm going to just play through the whole thing again.
It owns. And you two both have it on your list, so I guess we can stay friends. So number 2, unless unless the two of you have any further thoughts on Metroid, I will move on to number 2.
No, I loved it.
Which is Chicory, A Colorful Tale. So I mentioned this on the show recently because this was another one I circled back to and was really pleasantly surprised by. It's sort of a Zelda-like game in that there are these dungeons and there are boss fights at the end of each of them. And there's a little bit of story, but it's mostly about exploring the world. And you're a cute character. You're not Link. You're a cute little dog. You're hanging out with a bunch of anthropomorphic animals, and you are a magical painter with a magical paintbrush. And this game is also a metaphor for the stresses of making art and figuring out what you want to do with your life. And it's not even a metaphor, it's literal. And I just thought the way that that was translated into a game mechanic was really cool. Like, you have to come up with stuff to paint constantly, literally in the game, and also your character that you're playing as is struggling to come up with stuff to paint constantly for other people who are asking you to do that for them. And that was just a really lovely marriage of gameplay, design, and theme that I thought worked super well. And yeah, Chicory, A Colorful Tale.
I really want to play through the rest of this, and I might get it on Switch because it has touch controls on Switch apparently, which seems fun.
It does. I kind of wish I had just waited for the Switch version, but I'm also glad I didn't, because then it wouldn't have been on my list.
Yeah.
So my next 3 are some that Kirk mentioned. Psychonauts 2, which I loved. I also, in particular, liked that I didn't have to play the first one in order to get totally on board with it and enjoy it. Wildermyth, really liked it, played it so much that I started seeing dialogue repeat too many times. I don't recommend doing that. I feel like you got to stop right when you hit that magic point that you aren't seeing any more dialogue repeat, but I see that as a huge compliment for what that game is trying to do, and it's really exciting to me. And the next one is Halo Infinite, which Kirk gave an honorable mention to. I don't know. The story of Halo, it didn't really, I didn't love it. I know a lot of people super loved it. People were in the Triple Click Discord were talking about that, and I thought they had some interesting takes. It didn't really vibe with me, but I loved playing it so much. I just enjoyed it in such a bag of potato chips type of a way that I was like, I gotta put this on here. I had so much fun, just joyful, abandoned fun in Halo Infinite this year that I had to put it on. So next up is Unpacking. Which
almost
is
made
a
my
little
list.
indie game. Yeah, this is one that just also surprised me. It's all environmental storytelling and just Foley sound design that is very pleasant to listen to when you're picking things up and putting them down and deciding where you want to put things in your room. And that's super relaxing. But then also the story that it's telling about moving house, moving apartment, figuring out who you are growing up, which it does without text, is really poignant, and I enjoyed it a lot. And I just think this game was doing something really neat and also surprised me a lot. And that is clearly a qualification for the list, in my view. The next one, which multiple of us picked, Jason, I'm not sure you did, but I know you did, Kirk, is Echoes of the Eye.
Yeah, we all
Outer
did,
Wilds.
actually.
Yeah. I dug it. I mean,
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it at number 1 if I were going to make a ranking, because I was so frustrated with the mechanics so often while playing it. But then I cried at the end, which is what Outer Wilds always freaking does to me. Like, it's so annoying. Like, the first game, I was like so freaked out by certain sections and so overwhelmed by parts of it that I thought were hard. And Echoes of the Eye, also very difficult, even more difficult, I would argue, and especially the stealth aspects of it, very hard. But then the ending was so incredible that I was like, God damn it. And like incredible in a way that's hard to describe. Like, I feel like people are like, but you were saying you were so frustrated with it. Like, why are you now telling me to play it? And I'm like, I don't know. Okay. I can't explain this to you. Either you play it and you get to the end and you understand what I'm talking about, or you don't. And I would understand why you wouldn't, but that's that situation.
It's really just like, let me just imagine a banjo solo ringing out. And okay, that's why I cry at the end of Outer Wilds.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Nailed
the feeling of learning a very difficult banjo song, and then you play it and you cry. So my next one also feels like a little bit of a cheat because, like Echoes of the Eye, it's also a piece of DLC. It's FF7 Remake Intergrade.
Oh, man.
I just put this on similar to Outer Wilds in the sense that I really liked the original game, and also similar to Kirk putting Subnautica Below Zero on his list. I just wanted to play FF7 Remake again this year, and Intergrade kind of let me feel like I was doing that, and that was enough.
Maddie, did you ever think 2 years ago that
No.
a remake of Final Fantasy VII would be?
No.
Because you never played the original, right?
I played the original and I didn't like it. No, I didn't like it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I made fun of it a lot as being like annoying, and I didn't like Cloud. But then FF7 Remake came out and it didn't like Cloud and made fun of him just as much as I do, and I loved it. And I was like, God, okay, Square, you got me again. So yeah, Remake Intergrade is really fun. Love Yuffie in that.
Yeah,
Delightful.
Yuffie rules. I never would have guessed that I would like Yuffie as much as that DLC made me like Yuffie, but here we are.
I know. She's so pleasant, and I'm so excited for the next one.
Yeah.
So next on my list is this game Overboard, which, Jason, I know you picked too. This is kind of similar to Wildermyth for me and Inscryption, which is my next one. Spoilers, because it's not... I didn't vibe with every aspect of it, but I really loved what it was doing so much that I wanted to include it because I'm just excited about the possibility of it. It was a really small scope game in terms of like how long it took to make and what it's achieving, considering that it didn't take that long to make. I really like that as just a concept, and its dialogue design is really cool. It's like a murder mystery, but you're the murderer and you have to figure out how to set things up such that you don't get caught for the murder that you commit at the very beginning of each gameplay loop. And that puzzle, I've never played a game with that specific puzzle before, so that's creative in my view, but then also just the way the dialogue mechanics work and time and figuring out what time you can have each conversation and where. I dug it. I thought it was interesting and cool. Little repetitive, but still cool. And then, so that's Overboard with an exclamation point.
Very important.
And my last one is Inscryption, which I already said. I'm not a card game person, but I really dug this. Also, apparently the characters in the game are based on the Rosewater archetypes for Magic the Gathering players, like Spike and Timmy and whatever their names are. And I didn't get that because I literally know nothing about card game fandoms, but a friend of mine told me that, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. So I thought I would share it in case the listeners don't know what those archetypes are and they want to Google them and read about them and learn some more stuff about Inscryption. And then my honorable mentions are Deathloop and also the Christine Love game, Get in the Car Loser, which she makes visual novels mostly. Get in the Car Loser is a RPG with a lot more mechanics, and it's like a bit fiddly and not everybody's favorite, but I think it's ambitious and cool, and I wish it had gotten a little more love this year, and it just has some cool ideas. So yeah, that's it for me.
Nice.
Jason,
good list.
Your turn.
All right. So first of all, before I even get started, I just want to give a shout out to Final Fantasy 14, which I spent the past week doing nothing but playing. Because
yeah, that's good.
Are you playing Endwalker?
So my family was out of town. No. So the reason Endwalker is not on my list is because I'm still up to. I just finished Stormblood. My family was out of town for Christmas weekend. They were my wife and our kid went to Connecticut to my in-laws' place, and so I was just by myself for a few days, and I literally spent it just like with one with one monitor
Bachelor
playing Final Fantasy 14, and then like my laptop watching football. And it was amazing. It was incredible.
This is this is really your just ideal existence right there.
Just marathon Final Fantasy 14, and I think Endwalker would almost certainly be on this list if I had gotten that far.
I've heard good
things. I've just finished Stormblood, so I still am 2 expansions behind, unfortunately. God, that game is so long and monotonous in some ways, but also so incredible. The storytelling in that game is just tremendous. And the music, oh my God, Kirk, the music. Anyway, but here's my list. Overboard, first of all, Maddie just mentioned it, reverse murder mystery. I love this game. This might be my favorite of the year. This list is in no particular order, but I really loved Overboard. And yeah, everyone should just go play it. I don't even want to describe it, but yeah, just the way that it plays with time and it creates this giant interlocking puzzle for you to solve is just incredible. And there's so many different ways you can solve it, and I just love everything about that game. Next up, The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, another of my favorites of the year, which you guys have not mentioned. Kirk, you've been texting me about this.
No, it's
game.
funny because it's been kind of the only game that I have the bandwidth to play over the last couple of weeks, and I've been playing it a lot. I'm almost done, and I've played like 45 hours or something. It is great. I mean, it's
great. I haven't played enough of it that I feel like I could put it on because it's 2 games and they're just hours and hours of content.
It's
but I
good
feel like
though,
if
man.
I had beaten it, I would have put it on.
The story
It's
gets
great.
really good toward the end.
It gets incredible. So this is the latest game in the Phoenix Wright series. Was released in Japan a while back. Finally came out in America this year. And they're actually, not only are they incredible stories and games and awesome in every way, they are also the 2 games which are combined. We're in one package called The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. You buy them both at once. They are perfect like series entry points because they're set 100 years before the Phoenix Wright series, so you don't need to know anything about the Phoenix Wright series. And while they're like the occasional Easter egg, there's no real story continuation or anything like that. Next up, Psychonauts 2. You guys talked about that. I think that's on all our lists. Great game. Next up, The Forgotten City, which is a game about a city in ancient Rome where you are stuck in a time loop. And the way it works is that anytime one citizen of the city commits a crime, everybody turns into golden statues and dies, and your job is to figure out who's committing the crime and stop it so that the time loop can break and people stop dying. And it's incredible. It's based on a Skyrim mod, so it all looks very Skyrim-y. The characters have that kind of Skyrim like pivot to look at you and you talk to them. And
right, the camera
it's
pulls
just a
in.
phenomenal story game. It's all story, so it's a great story. Well, mostly a little bit of action stuff, but mostly story game, and it's awesome. Did you guys play this?
I have it installed. I just didn't get to it.
Yep, just didn't get to it.
Yeah, I think it would be on your lists if you had played it.
I think so
maybe next year.
too. There's too many good games.
Next is Metroid Dread. Manny already captured what made that game wonderful, but I agree. Next up, Bravely Default 2, a game I really, really enjoyed. Just a solid classic RPG. Does not require knowledge of the first game, despite being called Bravely Default 2, and is just really good, really excellent.
Nice.
Really cool job system, really cool music. Next up is another JRPG, Tales of Arise, which is a Tales game, a game in the Tales series.
Yeah, I was wondering if this would make your list.
It did, because Tales games are just always solid. I haven't played a ton of this game, and I'm planning on revisiting it. In fact, I was thinking about revisiting it this weekend, but then I just played Final Fantasy XIV for like hours and hours on end. My legs were like cramping from just not leaving my desk. It was great. It was amazing.
It was great. It was amazing.
Well,
I haven't what a brag.
I haven't done this since before I had a kid. So like 2.5
So you
years.
just
I haven't had a
immersed
real
yourself
like,
into the gamer zone.
No, I get it. I get it.
The last time I did this, I remember, was Divinity Original Sin 2, when I just like did not leave my computer for like 2 days straight, just playing that game. It was amazing. So Tales of Arise, really good game. Tales games, I like to describe them as like fast food. You always know what you're going to get. And sometimes you're just in the mood. Sometimes you're just got a craving for some good old Tales French fries. Next up, Deathloop, also has been discussed, but really enjoyed that game. Wish I had played it all without markers. Maybe one day I'll have a chance to revisit it. But do not make the same mistake I did. If you're out there considering playing this game, play it without any waypoints. Trust me.
Given that they usually make expansions, and actually in the case of Dishonored, the expansions tend to be even better than the base game, I'm hopeful about Deathloop, so hopefully we'll get some sort of expansion for that.
Yeah, it would be cool. Maybe another person to kill, a 9th person you have to add to your kill list. I don't know how they would do an expansion of that game, but we'll see. Next up, House in Fata Morgana, which is a game that came out a while ago, but came out on Switch this year, so I'm including it on my list.
Counts.
This is a visual novel game that has gone sadly underappreciated because it's just straight up visual novel. There's no gameplay at all. You're just reading the entire time, which I guess is not super appealing to a lot of critics or gamers, but hey, this game is incredible, and it's like one of my favorite stories of the year in any medium. Highly recommend it. It's about this mansion and the fates of the people who live in it. And there's all sorts of stuff in there. Some amnesia, some Well, I don't know. I won't even say what's in it because I don't want to spoil anything.
I bought it. I started it, but then haven't had time to play it. But
it's hard. I will say, Kirk, it's hard to play that and Ace Attorney like in the same time.
It needs to be one or the other, definitely.
You need a little bit of break between those two. But it's really, really good, and I highly recommend it. And finally, Outer Wilds: Echoes of the Eye, which also frustrated me, like you, Maddie. The kind of the owl monsters really bothered me. I just saw they added a patch a couple weeks ago that supposedly changed a bunch of stuff. I don't know how much they changed those sections, the horror sections.
Well, I think they buffed the shotgun, so like
that's good.
Finally, am I right?
That is good. I mean, I was relying on the hand pistol, so I'm glad that the shotgun is actually effective.
No, it's much more helpful. You can take them down in one shot if you get up close.
Hopefully they drop better gear because I really need a new helmet.
I think some of the loot drops are improved.
Well, I've been thinking about going to the microtransaction store and trading in my banjo. Trading in my banjo for a helmet. But you know what? But no, Echoes of the Eye is just phenomenal, and it's just like playing Outer Wilds. I mean, playing Echoes of the Eye was like playing Outer Wilds in that it's just like unlike anything else that you will ever play, and it's just this incredible narrative exploration experience. And as people can probably gather from my list, I'm into narrative and exploration games, so that's just like is the confluence of everything I love about video games is in Outer Wild. So to reiterate, Overboard, Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, Psychonauts 2, The Forgotten City, Metroid Dread, Bravely Default 2, Tales of Arise, Deathloop, House in Fata Morgana, and Outer Wilds, Echoes of the Eye.
Great lists, I gotta say. I think the three of us like some pretty good video games.
Yeah, good selections all around.
I agree.
Nice.
I agree. There were some good games this year.
There were.
All right. Well, let's take a little break, and we'll be back with one more thing.
Hi, I'm Dan McCoy.
I'm Stuart Wellington.
And I'm Elliot Kalin.
And the three of us host The Flophouse. It's a podcast where we watch a new bad movie and then we talk about it.
Dan, you say it's hosted by the three of us. We've had a lot of great guest co-hosts like Gillian Flynn, Jamel Bowie, John Hodgman, Jessica Williams, Wyatt Cenac, Joe Bob Briggs, Josh Gondelman, Roman Mars.
Yeah, and you said new movies. But what about the time we did Meatballs 2?
Okay, yeah. Sometimes we do older movies and sometimes we have guests, but mostly it's about us talking about like recent bad movies.
And don't forget about the ones where I made you do a role-playing game where you played cartoon dogs.
All right, yeah.
Shouldn't a promo be a really simple explanation about what our show's about? So what's the show about, Dan?
What's it about?
What's it about?
It's about friendship, all right? It's about our friendship and how we love each other.
The Flophouse. It's a podcast mostly about bad movies on Maximum Fun.
Hey there, beautiful people. I'm Travell Anderson.
And I'm Jared Hill. We are the hosts of Fantai, the show where we have complex and complicado conversations about the gray areas in our lives, the things that we really, really love sometimes, but also have some problematic feelings about.
Yes, we get into it all. You want to know our thoughts about Nicki Minaj and all her foolishness? We got you. You want to know our thoughts about gentrification and perhaps some positive aspects of gentrification? We get into that too. Every single Thursday, you can check us out at MaximumFun.org. Listen, you know you want it, honey, so come on and get it. Period.
We are back. Kirk, why don't you tell me one more thing?
I will tell you one more thing. I will tell everybody one more thing, and I know that this is a one more thing that the two of you are also watching. This is a Showtime show called Yellow Jackets that I started watching a couple of weeks ago and really, really like.
It's the best. We all like it.
It's super good.
It's so good.
So good.
So, Kirk, you turned us both onto this.
I
and
did.
we all got obsessed.
So I guess that's why I get to make it my one more thing, even though I know all three of us have watched it. This is a show that I've seen buzz about because I know critics like it. I get the sense if this show was on Netflix that it would just be dominating the conversation on social media and stuff because it's so provocative, it's so mysterious, it's so fun. Every episode is shocking and funny.
It's got that new weekly drop schedule that they're doing with TV now.
It's true.
It's so
wild.
This experimental
you
new
have to wait a
distribution
whole
model.
week to watch a new episode.
It's so Lost. Everything about it feels like Lost.
I would call this show Lost meets Lord of the Flies, which I think is probably a fairly common way of describing it. The story setup is that a group of teenage high school girls in the 1990s and 1996 from New Jersey were a school soccer team. They were very, very good. They won state, or as they call it, states, which must be what it's called in New Jersey. They won the state competition or game, and they go to play in nationals. And they get on a plane to go to nationals, a private or chartered plane, chartered by the wealthy daughter of a wealthy family on their team. And the plane crashes, and they're marooned in the middle of nowhere, and they have to survive. And then that is intercut with the modern day, where adult versions of some of these girls, at least the surviving ones, or we don't really know who survives because we don't know what happened, are played by a variety of really great actresses, including Juliette Lewis and Christina Ricci, kind of a lot of classic 90s actresses, and doing great work. I mean, the casting in the show is one of the miracles of it, is just that every single casting decision is incredible. And it becomes clear in the very first episode, which this show has one of the greatest pilots I've ever seen, in the first episode, that they didn't just have to survive for 19 months. Things went really, really bad, and they turned on one another.
The first minute of the first episode depicts cannibalism.
Yes,
like
and
they
they're
start
killing and eating
with
one another.
cannibalism. That's
Correct.
that's the cold open. That's like right there.
Right.
So you got to be ready for some gore with this show. I feel like we should warn people. There's a lot of blood and cannibalism on
It's
here.
a pretty gnarly show. It's a pretty scary show at times.
Yes.
It is a lot of horror mixed with, like really gnarly survival stuff out in the wild, where people have been horribly injured and have to deal with it, and then also all of the social tensions and anxieties from their high school carry over in this new environment, which is actually somewhat reminiscent of Battle Royale, which we recently did a Beans cast on. It has that as well, where the minute you're, not in school anymore and you're not in this safe environment, all of your relationships can suddenly become much more dangerous. And so the mystery of the show, similar to Lost, is just sort of, well, what happened? Who survived? There are these big questions, who dies and how? Who was the person that we saw being eaten in the first episode? And they answer some of those, but more it's just sort of what is going on? And there's that kind of almost haunted, possibly supernatural element. There's a lot of stuff that gets introduced that it's all very ambiguous. It's a really fun show to just watch and talk to people about. I've been talking with both of you about it. I haven't seen the latest one, but I'm excited to watch it. My sister and I have all these theories about, who's, what's going to happen with this and what's going to happen with that character, which I'm sure the both of you do too. It's just a great show. It's honestly, I signed up to get a Showtime. Like I didn't even do the monthly trial. I was like, I'll just pay $10 for a month of Showtime to watch all of this show, and it's worth it. It's a good show. So yeah, that's Yellow Jackets. It's on Showtime.
Kirk, while you're at it, you can watch Billions, which is
Don't
also
even
on
say,
Showtime.
Jason, you're gonna curse him. He's never gonna watch it now. Why did you say that? I was thinking it and I didn't say it. I restrained myself.
It is sitting right there. So anyways, Yellow Jackets on Showtime. It's a great show.
It is great. Jason, what about you?
So my show is almost the polar opposite of Yellow Jackets.
It really is.
It is.
It's a show called Hawkeye, which just came out, the new Marvel show. Marvel shows are weird, man. It's like you watch them and they just don't feel like anything else on TV, because every single one so far has felt like just a long movie that's broken up into X number of parts. And so you don't have your kind of typical, like, this TV show has a question or a problem that is resolved within the scope of that single episode. It's more like, okay, this is just one story that happens to be separated into parts that might end with a cliffhanger or something to keep you watching, but for the most part, absolutely nothing is resolved on an episode to episode basis. That said, Hawkeye, I think, might be the best incarnation of that formula so far. Other than maybe WandaVision, which did things very differently, and I really enjoyed, Hawkeye was probably the best Marvel show that came out this year. And I think that's because it didn't get bogged down with any unnecessary plots. The actors are really, really great. Especially the two leading ladies, Florence Pugh and what's her name, Haley Steinfeld.
Yeah.
The show doesn't take itself too seriously. It's very fun to watch. Unlike it's kind of very, very on the separate, diametrically opposed to Captain Falcon, the Captain Falcon show.
Captain Falcon series.
Yeah, Captain Falcon. That's what it's called.
Which was just dreary and dull and took itself too seriously and such. Hawkeye just feels very fun. Made me actually enjoy watching Jeremy Renner, which hadn't happened before, and made me sympathetic to him. Has all these good elements, like a relationship between Hawkeye and his wife that is just like really healthy, and it's rare to see like a really healthy, like communicative marriage on screen. So that's cool to see. And just like it has a lot of good stuff. It's just got a lot going for it. And I really enjoyed watching it. Really enjoyed just like binging through the 6 episodes, and just felt like a very fun Marvel movie, like one of the top tier Marvel movies, I would say.
Yeah, I really liked it too.
Yeah.
I watched the finale, and the finale was kind of overstuffed. Like there was one too many climactic fights going on. The whole
Yeah, I
Echo
agree.
origin story was maybe a little much, but
Well, it had to be. I mean, it had to set up. That's the other part of these Marvel things, is they're all setting up
of course.
constantly.
I mean, I understand why they did that, but
And they all end with a video game fight scene that I'm like, why? It's always my least favorite part.
You
of
know,
each of these
though,
shows.
no, but
as-
this one was kind of Home Alone, and that
right,
was fun.
as Final Showdowns go, I thought this one was pretty fun with all the arrows that they built and
the
like
blowing up, the one that blew up. The
the Pym particle arrow.
Yeah, look, okay, I love all the effects. I just felt like having a big fight scene where a whole bunch of people die, like hundreds of people die by the hands of these
Did they
arrows,
all
really
die?
undercuts the overall theme of the show, which is about how all the people you kill have families and might come back and be really upset with you.
I thought they all got knocked out.
I didn't
and
think
stuff.
they all died. I kind of saw a lot of people getting arrows in the arm.
Well, some of them died. Like those arrows that explode into tiny little splintering metal arrows, those were killing people, like for sure.
Were they?
There's
I thought they
no
were
way
like
they were
knockout
surviving
darts or
that.
something.
Okay, so everybody was knocked out. All the hundreds of goons at the end just were asleep, and it's fine. Haley Steinfeld didn't kill anyone. She's still a precious angel, and we don't need to worry about her psyche after this show.
She's the best, man.
She's
So
great.
good. The standout for me, other than her, was and other than Jack Ducat, who plays this incredible character on Better Call Saul. Also, same actor. That was his like breakout role, Better Call Saul, and he's just astounding. But the highlight for me was the Tracksuit Mafia, who are ridiculous and so
Yeah.
much fun to watch.
An
Yeah.
invention, I believe, an invention of Matt Fraction from that comic series. Bing! Hello, everybody. Kirk here from the future. And I credited Matt Fraction there just because Fraction wrote that Hawkeye run that had the Tracksuit Mafia in it. He wrote those bro lines of dialogue and is responsible for that. But I do want to just take the opportunity here to mention David Aja as well, who's the artist who worked with Fraction on that incredible Hawkeye run. If you've read it, you know how awesome Aja is and how great his art is. And if you haven't read it and you did watch the Hawkeye show, you still encountered his art, but he kind of notoriously now wasn't really credited. Fraction was a producer on the Disney Plus series, but David Aja wasn't really credited, even though his art style is all over that miniseries. I mean, when I was watching it, I was like just laughing with delight during the credit sequence because it looks just like his comics. And for that matter, shout out to Matt Hollingsworth also, who was the colorist on that run of comics. And the colors, the very stark coloring on that comic series is also a really distinctive part of it. So just another mark of how the comics industry works and how they have this serious crediting problem. So anyways, I just wanted to shout out David Aja here because if you don't know who he is, you should know who he is. He's an incredible artist and he did great work with Fraction and Hollingsworth on that Hawkeye run. Okay, back to the show. Bing!
Good stuff. I really enjoyed the show. And yeah, I'm looking forward to more of Kate Bishop and also to more of the big villain who's introduced at the end, and looking forward to revisiting that world.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure we'll talk about more down the road.
It was really cool to see Boba Fett in a Marvel show. Anyway,
Yeah, man.
Sorry for
wow.
Crossover we
spoiling
didn't
that.
see coming.
Anyway, I get to go last, and my pick is Dark Souls, which is a cool video game I've been playing.
I've heard it's good.
So way back in July, I got to a place called Blighttown in the video game Dark Souls, and I talked about it on this very show, and it sucks really bad there. And I've actually been going back and playing this game like every month or so. And I would go back and I'd be like, wow, Blighttown sucks. Like, it really sucks here. And all the memes that people say, all the jokes people say about how bad it is are true. There's so many kinds of enemies. The guys who shoot the toxic blow darts at you, if you can manage to get to them and you
worst.
kill
They're
them,
the
they
worst.
don't come back. That's very kind
Oh, I
that
didn't
Dark
know
Souls
that.
actually does that for you. Only with those guys, everyone else comes back.
Still.
But good luck getting to those guys because it's a huge maze and there's 1,000 ladders and you can fall at any time to your death and do everything again, and it's the worst. And then time passed. I spent so much time there, and this past week I finally got to the next section of the
Hey,
game. I
nice.
finally got to Keylog. Kellogg? I got to Kellogg. I got to Kellogg's.
Kellogg's
I'm
Corn
going to
Flakes.
finally destroy Kellogg's.
The Kellogg's Corn
and
Flakes
force
spider.
them to negotiate with their union. I'm doing that in Dark Souls. But for real, it was so exciting to me to finally get out of Blighttown. And I know people have been wondering,
Congrats.
is Maddie still playing Dark Souls? She hasn't mentioned it in a while. Maybe she's still in Blighttown. Well, I was. I didn't want to talk about it. But now that I'm out of Blighttown, I feel like I can admit that I've been in Blighttown this whole time, and I'm now not in Blighttown anymore, and I'm relieved.
Can I just ask you one question? And that is, I know you became cursed at the same point that I did, where you fell into the curse hole. How do you what's the way to become uncursed? I could Google it, but it seems more fun to just ask you.
Well, okay, so you can become uncursed by going to meet a really cool skeleton lady who you hopefully didn't kill, and you can buy an item from her. And you can always go back and buy this item from her. I think it's like 10,000 souls or something.
Is she in like Undead Burg?
Yeah, she's in that area where there's like a really long trench that's full of water that you like kind of clamp your way through, and she's like behind a door. Anyway, people who play the game and have met her know who I'm talking about.
Okay.
The cool skeleton lady. I can't remember the item she sells you, but there's an item you can buy from her that will remove a curse, or you can just put up with the fact that you're cursed. That basically just knocks down some of your health.
Yeah, no,
but the
I'm not
problem
gonna
with
do that.
Blighttown is not just getting cursed, but getting like toxic.
Yeah, it's
and
toxic in Blighttown. Cursed is a little before that. That's those frogs.
Yeah, which is worse because you can't undo it. You cannot undo
Until you
toxicity
die.
by System of a Down. You cannot undo it. You can only listen to Britney Spears and or System of a Down while crying and dying in Dark Souls, and then just going back to where you were.
Though the difference, right, is that curse carries over from death to death, and toxic goes away after you die.
Yes, it does. Curse knocks off a chunk of your health bar every single time. You can't fully fill up your health until you free yourself of the curse. Whereas being toxic means your health is constantly ticking down at all times until you die. And you can drink potions or drink
Right.
Estus Flask to bring your health back up, but it will continue to tick down until you die. So basically you're a ticking time bomb until your death, and you can only do so much. And maybe you just so happen to find a fire or a really cool item during that period of time, but you are absolutely going to die. And it's just the fucking worst. I don't know. It's a terrible area. I was tweeting about it. There was one person who very politely explained to me that it was actually really great level design. And I'm sorry to that person, but I don't agree. And I think I'm still mad at it, and I'm not done being mad at it yet. That's my take on Blighttown and
good
Dark
for you.
Souls.
Valid.
And yeah, that's me.
Nice.
That was my one more thing.
All right.
So we did it again, folks.
That was our one more year of Triple Click.
Yeah, that's
The
2021 in the
final
books.
one more things. Oh wait, we're gonna do some more. On
We
a
are,
bonus
we are.
episode.
Yeah, we got a bonus episode coming up, but otherwise, we will be back next week for predictions.
Yep.
So next week we get to
pumped.
revisit our 2021 predictions, figure out what game we're going to play in 2022, and make some new predictions for the
Very
year
exciting.
ahead.
Very exciting.
It's going to be a fun one.
terrifying, exciting.
And we'll see both of you next year.
See you next year.
Bye.
Triple Click is produced by Jason Schreier, Maddie Myers, and me, Kirk Hamilton. I edit and mix the show and also wrote our theme music. Our show art is by Tom DJ. Some of the games and products we talked about on this episode may have been sent to us for free for review consideration. You can find a link to our ethics policy in the show notes. Triple Click is a proud member of the Maximum Fun Podcast Network, and if you like our show, we hope you'll consider supporting us by becoming a member at MaximumFun.org/join. Find us on Twitter at TripleClickPod, send email to tripleclick@MaximumFun.org, and find a link to our Discord in the show notes. Thanks for listening. See you next time.
MaximumFun.org.
Comedy and culture.
Artist owned. Audience supported.